She may be alone and a long way from home and a little frightened, but she was at least as good as these shapeless and faceless figures who pushed past her without a thought, and she had her daughter to protect. Diana grabbed the arm of a passing man and demanded, in a voice that served her well at the tennis matches she had adjudicated at her local club, "Please tell me where the nearest shelter is. We're lost. We went to a pantomime and we got on the wrong bus and—" She made herself stop. The man did not need to know they had been to a pantomime, yet the urge to explain their presence in what was, one must assume, London's East End was paramount. She knew she could not possibly blend in, and nor, quite frankly, would she wish to. "The station! Go to the tube station!" the man shouted as he pulled his arm free. Of course, the tube station, that was where people in London sheltered. "Thank you so much." But he was gone. "We shall go and shelter in the tube station," Diana said to Abigail. "You'll like that, won't you, darling? It will be a grand adventure." They set off at once, and it was a relief to be moving swiftly, if not at a run. No one else was running, then certainly at a brisk pace. Abigail, who was flagging even before the adventure had begun, made heavy weather of it, and Diana had to half drag, half carry her. But now Abigail stopped, jerking her mother to a halt, too. "Mummy, we didn't go to a pantomime." Diana could only dimly make out her child's form in the blackout. Her face was quite invisible, but her voice was full of indignant consternation, and it seemed extraordinary to Diana that this was what Abigail was pondering as they hurried together through the strange and frightening darkness. "Don't be silly, Abigail. We must hurry. Oh, do come on." And though she clearly did not think this a satisfactory reply to her observation, Abigail allowed herself to be led onwards. They passed shops, boarded up or derelict, and row after row of bombed-out terraces, gaping black holes in the black night. But ahead, the busy street on which they found themselves reached a junction with a much larger thoroughfare. They passed beneath an archway beside a pub that was shuttered and dark, and on the corner was, unmistakably, the entrance to a tube station. They saw the comforting red and blue and white of the underground sign, and the stream of people disappearing into its depths. Which tube station it was hardly seemed to matter. Whitechapel, Shoreditch, was there a station at Shoreditch? Stepney, perhaps. "Here we are, almost safe now," Diana shouted above the rising noise of the siren. For they had made it, the two of them, in this hostile environment. They had triumphed. But Abigail promptly sat down and refused to move. At this display of defeatism when they were so close to their salvation, Diana felt a moment of despair. She kneeled down and pleaded with her child to get up, but Abigail closed her eyes and shook her head resolutely. "Teddy doesn't want to go down there." From where Diana was standing, Teddy looked extremely keen indeed to get down into the safety of the tube station, but sadly he was in no position to say so. "Very well, then. I'm going to leave you both here on your own to fend for yourselves." At this, Abigail scrambled to her feet and flung herself at her mother's legs. This hampered their progress, especially as Diana was carrying her best handbag and a small travelling case containing sundry other items she had thought it necessary to bring with them on this day trip to London, along with some that she had procured during the course of the day. But they were at least moving in the right direction, and once they joined the flow, the sheer mass of urgent and frightened people behind swept them along, so that really all one had to do was keep on one's feet and not trip. In this manner they were carried down a short flight of steps and across a concourse. They squeezed through the open turnstiles. One did feel a little conspicuous not purchasing a ticket, even under such unusual circumstances, and found themselves at the top of the escalator. The crush of people was suddenly much denser as they were funnelled onto the stationary escalator, and Diana grasped the handrail with one hand and her child's hand in a fierce grip with the other, not caring at this moment if she hurt her, concerned only with keeping both eyes on the lip of the stairwell just ahead. An old woman wrapped in a